used to be militant. I wore my boots everywhere, no socks.
No socks? Dirks,
No,
no.
no way. Your boots, no socks needed. That's the way. That was to me the authentic way to wear them. Ropers and no socks.
Hey friends, it's your girl Emily Curl coming to you from my virtual studio today, and we are hanging out with country music superstar Dierks Bentley. Dierks, it's good to see you, and this is a special one because it's album release day. Your
I
new
know,
album
this
is
is it.
out, Gravel and Gold. How are you feeling? How are you feeling today?
The big day. I feel good, other than my Nashville allergies knocking me down a little bit here. But no, I feel pretty good. It's a big day. It's kind of surreal. It really is. I mean, it's 3 years kind of working on this record, and longer since my last album came out, the Mountain album. So yeah, it feels pretty surreal. I guess is the only way to really answer that question. Very happy though.
This is your 10th studio album, so you're not new to releasing music. Is it still just as exciting when a new project comes out? Like, do you still have that same feeling as an artist?
Oh, absolutely. And it's my 10th one, which that really became a theme throughout the recording of this album. I didn't really think much about that to begin with. And then as I just kept working on the album and going into the studio and just not being really satisfied with what I had. I kind of realized at one point that what I wanted to make was an album that had a kind of a compilation of all the sounds and styles that I've kind of been known for, and that became kind of the underlying theme of the album. The gravel and the gold, the good and the bad, all the stuff that's gone into these last the 9 albums previous to this. So it has all the country music that my fans are used to hearing on iHeart, and but also has this bluegrass element to it, and has the traditional country as well as some 90s country vibes. So these are all songs and styles I've had in all my albums over the years, but this is like one album I feel like they're all collected in one spot and done better than anywhere else before.
It's so interesting you say that. I got that total vibe from the very first time I listened, before I even read anything about it. Like, that's the same thing where I was like, I feel like we're getting a lot of different sounds of the Dierks that we know and love. And then this is our fast tracks. We're gonna go through a few tracks in the album. You start with Same Old Me, and I thought that was a really interesting juxtaposition where
Yeah.
we have these different sounds, but you open it with it's still the same old me. So I'm guessing that was a very purposeful take to start with that song.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a revelation to myself halfway through the process here. It's like, because I wrote that song with Luke Dick and John Randall, and I thought, but I'm not really the same old me. I mean, I'm a totally different person now. I've evolved. I'm a higher version of myself. And then here I am still playing bluegrass gigs at the station inn. I'm still driving the same truck. I'm still riding around the same bus I've had since 2003, and same band guys, still loving what I do. And so it's a little bit of a reminder of myself before the album starts that, like, yeah, I still am the same old me. This is who I am. And the album, every song after that is an example of that in some way. So it was really purposeful to start the album with that song.
Yeah, and then we go into Sunsets in Colorado. And I love this one because I think I knew Colorado's a big part of your life, right? You and your family spent a lot of time in Colorado?
We sure did. Yeah, I just got back there from there the other day. Where it was for all the pandemic, we moved out there kind of, I thought it was permanently. I wanted it to be permanently, but I got roped back into Nashville. But I know, just love being out there. It's just a lot of family time, a lot of camping and hiking and skiing and fishing, and just all the stuff I've kind of missed out a little bit on some ways over the last last lot of years. So I was really enjoying being out there, and that song kind of talks a little about just the pull for me of getting back home where I'm from originally, the West, Arizona, and that part of the country. With living in Tennessee, and it's a longer story, but part of this album is also about coming back to Nashville. I came back here in 2021, and I was hesitant to come back because I was pretty happy to be gone, but I found myself really excited to be back in Nashville. I found myself really grateful to have the studios we have, the musicians we have, the friends I have, the life I have here. I just needed a little bit of a break, and it was a nice reset. And that idea of, like, what sometimes looks like gravel can actually be gold really depends on your mindset and your attitude. And I needed a little bit of an attitude adjustment, apparently. So happy to be back. And Sunsets talks a little bit about that tension.
Well, that's so interesting because, like I said, you've been doing this for so long, making music for so long. As an artist, how do you avoid burnout? And for you, was that a factor in your career, again, taking that time off, coming back to Nashville? Like, how do you stop that?
Yeah. That's a great question. I mean, burnout, it's real. For me, if I'm not making a record that's like new or different or doesn't have a theme, just going through the motions, I would quit. I don't have any interest in doing that. Same with the live show. If it's not something that's really exciting for me, first and foremost, I mean, we build these shows around our fans, and the fan experience is everything. But also, it has to feel new and exciting and fun for me, or else I'm not going to really enjoy being out there and being away from my family. So, yeah, everything I do is very intentful, very purposeful, very looking for fun. I want everything to be, as fun as possible. And sometimes you got to put a lot of work in to make something feel fun, but it's all about trying to do it a little bit differently and discover something new about yourself. At the end of the day, I'm still the same old guy on stage with a beer and my guitar, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to stop searching and trying to find a way to do it a little bit differently and do it in a way that excites me every time that I make a record or put together a tour.
I think one of my favorites on the album too is, I'm skipping around a little bit, but Something Real. And I like the entire sentiment behind it. And I think the line that really got me was, the way I'm really feeling won't fill up a Coliseum. And I think, I think about that often. It's like there's so many layers, to being an artist or to doing anything that you love and you work for. Tell me about Something Real for you. And again, I think this directly correlates with making this album.
Yeah, Something Real goes back to me moving to Nashville in '94. I was looking for something real. I was looking for the authentic thing that was, the source of this music that I had just fallen so in love with when I was 17. And I got here and realized that it wasn't Something Real on Music Row. It was a bunch of people that weren't writing their songs and dressing in a certain way. And it was more of a game, more of a business up here. That wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for the real thing. And I found that really down Lower Broadway, where all the guys and girls were singing, their hearts out. And I found it at a little bluegrass bar called the Station Inn, where people were playing not for money, not for fame, not for CMT. They were just doing it because they love to do it. And that's really where that came from. And, here I am. I've been on the road now for 20 years, and I've come at it from every angle.
20 years, that's wild.
I know, it's crazy. And at the end of the day, yeah, I'm searching for that real thing. And there's sometimes it is the way I feel, in real life. Sometimes a shot does make me lonely. A crowd makes me lonely, and a shot, alcohol makes me sad. But me on stage is that's just an extension of that part of my personality that goes a little crazy on stage. But there's the other side to it as well, and that's what that song talks about a little bit.
What do you feel like you want now? Is there something next? You've done the tours, 20 years, like you said, you're releasing great music. Like, for you, are you still dreaming? Are you still, what's next for you?
I've checked a lot of things off the box when it comes to dreaming. I've played a lot of great venues, and I'm one of these people that I try to recognize that like more isn't always better. I just want to do what I do well. I get opportunities to do stuff outside the music, like acting and whatnot. A, I don't think I'm a very good actor, but B, I just kind of try to recognize like where I really find the most enjoyment, and it's in my family and my time with them and with my road family. And my fans would be an extension of that road family as well. And that's, I don't have much time for anything other than that, and just whatever show I'm at, trying to put as much energy into that show, make it the best show that it is.
I want to go back to it for a second, because you said like being with your family now is important to you as well. And that's kind of the vibe I got. If we go down on our track, is Still, the song. That felt so quiet and calming to me too. And if, I'm from Georgia, I live in New York. So every time I go home, I feel still when I'm with my parents, or when I'm, outside, when I'm in Georgia. For you, where do you feel the most still? Where's home for you?
Oh, up on some lonely hill, like that song talks about. I think about the backyard I had in Colorado where I was living, and just could walk out of the house and go hike a 4,000 vertical up to 11,000, 12,000 feet, and just be all alone on top of some mountain. It's just a really recharging, rejuvenative experience for me. That's really where I recharge the most. But I will say, when I moved back to Nashville, I realized more than I thought how much I really enjoy community, and I moved into a smaller part of town here where I have a neighborhood and sidewalks and great neighbors and people around, and that I recognize and see every day. That it's just something I had that also out in Colorado, and when I came back to Nashville, I was like, I don't want to be behind some gate or fence or trees anymore. I want to be just around good people. So I moved to a great little neighborhood that's been like that.
Yeah, it's a great segue to my next one. I have a few more for you I wanted to ask you about. Walking each other home. I feel like with our iHeart crew, asking around like, okay, what's your favorite so far on the Dierks album? So many people said this one too. And I feel like because there's like a night, I'm giving you all the iHeart insights.
Oh, I want that. I need to know, because I'm trying to pick singles and stuff. So getting iHeart insight is like, it's amazing. Got it.
So tell me the story, Walking Each Other Home. This one's interesting because I love the beginning too. You kind of name drop a little bit with some names here and there. Tell me the story behind this song.
The song is just, I wrote it with John Osborne and Luke Dick, and I did it over Zoom. One of the, few successful Zoom writes. I feel like Zooming, you can like get a solid B plus song, but it's hard to get those A plus songs unless you're in person. But we wrote this together early on. Actually, one of the earlier songs I wrote during the whole thing when I was just like Zooming once or twice a week, and then I put the guitar away and go get on my bike when I was living in Colorado. But great idea that Luke Dick had, and I just love the way it turned out, and I'm hoping it makes it on the radio. It's got a great message. It's not beating anybody over the head with the message, but it's nice to have one song on the album that kind of just speaks to something bigger than ourselves. And it's just a reminder that I spend a lot of time flying, and when you get up to 45,000 feet, everything looks pretty similar down there. It's like we're all pretty similar, and we're all going through this experience, together in some way. And you do see that a lot. Oddly, my dad, when he passed away, we had to put him in a home, and in this home you have all sorts of people coming together. It doesn't matter what they did in their own their lives before that. They're all mixed into this little crazy house. Oh man, some of those dinners, it was like being in that just One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, the stuff you hear at the dinner table is like, oh my gosh, these people are really losing it. But it was fun, it was sad, it was everything at the same time. But and it just everyone's mixed in this room. It's all different colors and shapes and sizes, and it's like we're all we're all going to the same place at the end, and we're all leaving this world together some way. So a little reminder of that to me, and just a nice sentiment, something to think about, and helps break up some of the other songs on the record, like Beer at My Funeral and Same Old Me. So it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, it's funny, Dirk, because my parents actually owned an assisted living home. So growing up, we were
wow.
always. Yeah. So I like now, like as an adult, I have such an appreciation for older age and for, those types of communities, because we grew up with so many older people. The stories that we have from those places. You're right.
Yeah. And the people that take care of those older people,
Yeah. It was a really special
those caregivers
community.
are unbelievable.
They really are.
Literally closer, holding their hands and closer to the older folks and some of their own family members. So it's pretty special group of people working there.
I remember being confused growing up. I thought I had like 5 sets of grandparents. I was like, well, who's grandma and grandpa?
Oh my gosh.
It was funny. We also have some amazing duets on this album. I want to get to this before we run out of time, is Cowboy Boots with Ashley McBryde. Tell me about working with Ashley.
Oh, Ashley's the best. I mean, there's so many great women in country music right now, and they've all carved out their own little niche, their own little highway, lane in the highway, and Ashley's got her own thing going on. It's so cool, and just starts with a great personality and a colorful childhood and past that's made her who she is, and her voice and her, she just is the real deal. I guess you can hear it in her voice, and you can see it in her tattoos, and she rocks a cool pair of boots every day, all day long. I mean, when I'm not on stage, I'm backstage, I'm probably not wearing my boots. I used to be Milton. I wore my boots everywhere, no socks.
No socks? There's no
way. Your boots, no socks needed. That was to me the authentic way to wear them. Ropers and no socks.
Oh my
Everywhere except
God.
the shower. Now my old age is getting soft. I'll put on a pair of Vans or something when I'm not on stage. But not Ashley McBryde. She's wearing those boots all the time. So I knew she was the right person for the song, and asked her to do it. She was so cool, said yes, and she absolutely crushed the song. And she's just doing so well. I was pulling for her at the Grammys the other night, and she got that Grammy for her song with Carly Pearce. And she's just a real artist. She's just inspiring to be around.
Yeah, and I think you said it right. Correct. She's just cool. She's just a cool person.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Last one I want to talk about before I let you go is High Note with Billy Strings. This is the one that's been stuck in my head all morning, that I was singing before you joined the Zoom, that I thought you heard me singing, that I did a bad job of.
No, I heard a little bit of there. It sounded pretty good.
No, this one's a little bit more bluegrass. I feel like this is like that bluegrassy feel. Tell me about High Note.
Yeah, I love the song. My buddy Charlie Worsham, who is in my band, but also an artist in his own right, singer-songwriter, session player. He wrote the song with Jim Beavers, another buddy of mine that Jim and I wrote Sideways and How Am I Doing and Am I the Only One together. So it had a funny team behind this one, and it ended up being it's a fun song, but about Armageddon coming, and these guys are gonna be in the basement listening to the Flat and Scruggs albums and smoking Willie's weed. Just a fun sentiment, and Billy was the right guy for the song, because that's kind of how Billy rolls in the bus 24/7 anyway, listening to old bluegrass and getting high. So he was the right guy to have the song. He just came in there, but a great jam session. There's like an extended track on this one, and Sam Bush and Jerry Douglas playing on it, and of course Billy and then Ben Helson from my band, and just a really fun song. Turned out great. We gave a little bit of an extra kick to it to, so if we want to go country radio, it could. It's got some drums and guitars on it, but it's definitely a bluegrass song at its core and a good one to go out on. High note.
A high note. There you go.
Yeah.
Dierks, congratulations. We're so excited for you. I know you mentioned this, and one last thing really quick is you're going on tour. Can you give us any teasers about the tour? What can we expect?
Oh, tours, starts Memorial Day, probably end somewhere around Labor Day. Those are the goalposts. And speaking of goalposts, you went to Georgia, right?
I went to Georgia, yes.
Yeah, big win this last
national champs. You better believe
yeah.
I don't even follow sports that closely, but I do say I'm a national champion to anyone who asks.
Yeah, I bet you do. There's a lot of Georgia people in New York, I bet.
There really is. It's like a really big community. I feel like outside of Atlanta, it's like people go to New York and then it's Nashville. It's crazy.
Yeah. When we play, whenever we play a show in New York, you're always surprised how many people from the South that come out to your show out of the woodworks. They find
it's
the country
really
concerts.
wild. They really do.
Yeah.
They know. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I head out this summer and it's gonna be big tour. So super excited about that, and it's always fun to launch a tour when you have a new album to come out along with it.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Well, Dierks, congratulations. Thank you always for your time. Gravel and Gold out now on iHeartRadio, and we can't wait to see you on the road.
Thanks, Emily.
Dierks Bentley's new album, Gravel and Gold, is out now. Go check it out on iHeartCountry, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.